Hey guys, Ashley here, also known as the Age Elite fan. I'm today with another video rant. I have to talk about this. I honestly feel like I've tried so hard to really avoid that this movie is in the trilogy, but I really have to talk about this. So today I'm going to talk about why I don't like Godfather 3. Godfather 3 came out in 1990. It was directed by Francis Coppola, and this movie is an abomination. It is really weird thinking that there are three movies in this trilogy because the third film is a complete car wreck. It is a car wreck. I honestly have no idea why Francis Coppola decided to make this movie. I honestly heard that it was rushed into production. The script wasn't really all the way done, and he just kind of like wrote in whatever he wanted to write. So to me, right there, that is just the biggest flaw. Just having a rush script. We've seen so many movies do this. They rush into the production to get everything out there, and then the movie isn't even good. Like this movie is not good. I think there's some people who really like this film. I watched it 3 times, and I honestly, it feels like I'm watching grass grow. It feels like I'm watching paint dry. This movie is so boring, so inconsistent, and character derailment on top of character derailment. It is the abomination of the Godfather trilogy. I absolutely love the first two. Like I said, I just watched the first two movies at after living on this planet for 21 years. I just watched the first two movies. And ever since I watched the first two movies, I can't stop watching them. I absolutely love Godfather 1, but I really love Godfather 2. Al Pacino did his motherfucking job in the first two films. I honestly feel like Godfather is famous because of him. Even though I think Marlo Brando did an amazing job as playing Vito Corleone, I know Godfather because of Al Pacino, not because of Marlo Brando. Not taking anything away from the man. He's R.I.P. to him. He's dead and gone. But when I think of Godfather, I think of Al Pacino since I watched it. But let's get to what I want to discuss, and that's why I don't like Godfather 3. Um, the biggest thing I want to talk about Godfather 3, besides all the other ones, but that's just get into the real reason here, and that's just get it done and over with, is Michael Corleone. His character was really written in a way that just didn't make any sense to me. So we open up the movie with him wanting to have a redemption arc, but when the movie opens up, he's already more expressive. He's smiling more. He's dancing. He's having more fun. And it's like, I'm like, this is not the Michael Corleone that I know. The Michael Corleone that I know is more cold. He's more soft spoken. He hardly gets angry, and when he does get angry, it's very frightening because he's very calm and collected. He wants everybody to believe he has everything together, but when he gets really angry, it's frightening. He used to analyze people with his eyes and his body language and his nuance. But this Michael Corleone in part three is not the Michael Corleone that I know in the first two movies. This Michael Corleone is boring. He's uninteresting. I don't care about his redemption arc. It's just really uninteresting. I think the biggest reason too that I realized why I couldn't get into it is because Al Pacino, his voice got really deeper once he got like older. I think what made the first two movies like really good, besides his acting, was that he had the voice of a person who was calm, collected, and doesn't really yell and not really explosive. But in this movie, his voice is more deeper. He already sounds like he's like when he tries to talk calm and like and soft spoken, he already sounds like intimidating enough. He sounds serious. Like I can't really explain it. Like he doesn't sound soft and like spoken. He doesn't sound like that. Like he doesn't sound like that. Like he sounds like he has a deep ass voice. Like I don't know how to explain it. Maybe you guys understand what I'm saying, but I just don't understand. Like I don't know. I don't like anything about what they did to Al Pacino. Al Pacino looks really bored in this film. Like he looks really bored. Like he just was waiting for the movie to get done and over with. Like the shots, the cinematography is boring. Uh, I'm not done with my Corleone yet. Hold on, there's still more to talk about. hold on. Before I get to other stuff in the movie, hold on. Like his story is just not interesting to me. Like I still, even though Al Pacino looked bored, I still like the scene where I like the scene where Mary gets shot and like he's like screaming and like he's what they call it, welling. He's like welling. Like I thought that was good. I thought the part in the church when he asked the person in the casket, can't remember the character's name that's dead. I couldn't remember how the characters in this movie's name. He was asking him, when did he lose his way? Did he lose his way with his heart? Did he lose his way with his mind? How can he get? How can he become the man he was before he became so corrupted and lost and everything? And like, I like the scene between him and Kay, and I think they absolutely have no chemistry. Him and Kay have no chemistry. They have the chemistry of Rick and Lori from Walking Dead. Just nothing there is so passionless. Like it was. I'm sorry, and I can't believe I can't believe that Al Pacino and the girl, I think her name was Diane. I can't believe they actually dated off set. Thinking like they have no chemistry on screen. Anyway, that's besides the point. Uh, but yeah, that's it. Those are really the only acting scenes to me. Oh, and we can't forget the famous quote. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. We can't forget that famous quote. That's literally it. He has a stroke, I'm and that gives him saying that every day in life is a blessing and he wants to become a new man. But it's like when the movie opens up, he's already a new man. Like I don't understand. Like how can you tell us that he's gonna get a redemption arc when you open up the movie already with him having a redemption arc? It makes literally no sense. No sense to me. No sense to me. Like this movie could have had just been so avoided. Like his character was just written so uninteresting in here. And then the ending, oh my god, the ending. The ending was just a copy and paste bootleg version of part two. Except he dies in the end, which I thought was lame as hell. It's like if that was the case, then you could have just kept him sitting in a chair in part two after the family memory at dinner and just had us the audience thinking, what's next for him? Like, is he gonna stay? And is he gonna be a man so cold and alienated that he's gonna completely forget who he is? Like, that's more interesting than opening up part three with him being boring. Like, I never thought I would say Marco Leone is boring. Like, he's one of the most. He even though part three is a trash film, I'm still gonna say Marco Leone is one of the best on-screen written characters I have ever seen. One of the best on-screen characters. I don't know who the best is in my mind, but he's he's one of. I'm putting him right up there with Tony Stark and I just Spider Man. I just the original Spider Man, Tobey Maguire Spider Man. Like his movie, his character in here, I was not feeling it. I wasn't feeling the Russian arc. I wasn't feeling any of it. Like I honestly just thought it was really his character was really boring. And that's really all I have to say. If I forget anything, let me know in the comments below about his character. With me, that's all I have to say. I just feel like his character was lazily written. He's doing charities. He's going to dances. He's yada 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 blah 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 yakety smackety. Like he's doing all these things and it's like why is he so more expressive? Like and you can tell this movie was made in the 90s but this is taking place in the 80s. I can't fucking tell. I don't think it's taking place in the 80s. You can tell this movie was made in the 90s. You could just tell it was made in the 90s. You could just fucking tell. Oh my god, his character was just so dreadful and so annoying, and like it was complete derailment. Marco Leone. Al Pacino looked so bored in this movie. He looked so bored, and I see him look bored before. But one of the things I will respect with Al Pacino is that even though when it looks like he's not feeling the character, at least he tries. Like at least he tries. Like I can like in this, at least I can say he tried, but I just was not feeling this performance. I'm sorry. Godfather 3 is one of the worst Al Pacino movies I have ever seen him in. Period. Okay, so we're done with my Corleone. I just had to address that because it's his film. But the other things in this movie, I can't stand Kay. I absolutely cannot stand Kay. I didn't like her in the first movie. I didn't like her in the second movie, and I didn't like her in here. She is annoying as fuck. Like she's so annoying. Like she really has no personality trait besides being whiny and annoying. Like, what do you want from Like, I just don't understand. Like, oh, she gets on my nerves. Other than that, I cannot stand Kay. I honestly wish Michael would have never married her. Kay should have been the girl that he married and blew up in the car. And Apophomia, or Apomomia, whatever the fuck how you say pronounce her name, the Italian girl that he met in Sicily, she should have been the one that he ended up with. They had way more chemistry in that montage that him and Kay had in any of their scenes together. So, yeah, the incest storyline was just that was really, I don't, what, I can't even, why was that a storyline? Why was that necessary? Was he that bored with the script that he's like, okay, let's kill some time with an incest storyline? Yeah, that's how Mary fell in love with her first cousin Vincent. Yeah, because that's interesting to everybody. Like, even though he was cute, like, it's like, what, an incest storyline? That's how bored you were, really? And like, his daughter couldn't act for shit. She was a terrible actress, so terrible. I just think the acting overall in this movie was just bad. Like, was just bad. Like, even though I said Al Pacino had his moments, like, he still looked bored to me. Like, he looked bored with the script. So I'm gonna say the acting was just bad all around. It was bad. The cinematography was boring. There were no good shots. The dialogue was awful. The way the characters interacted with each other just seemed so bland and boring. The score was boring. The score was uninteresting. It did not feel like a mafia film. Like, this movie, you can tell this movie was made in the '90s. Like, you could tell it was made in the '90s. It's like it had no real aesthetic to it. Like the first two films. The first two films had aesthetic to it. In this movie, you could just tell it was just no aesthetic. Francis Coppola didn't even try with this film. It was a boring 2 hour movie of nothing. He copy and pasted the last scene with Michael Leone. His death scene just felt so, it felt so expected, because in the movie he kind of was letting you know that his death is coming, and it's just like, how the fuck can I care about his redemption arc, man? Like, it was just dumb. I absolutely hate this movie. If anybody wants to watch Godfather, and I highly recommend the first two, do not watch three. Three is a non-factor. There's no reason to watch three. Three is boring. It's uninteresting. Michael Corleone is not an interesting character anymore like he was in the first two. His redemption arc is very written inconsistent, and the acting is bad. The storyline is just god awful, and everything about this film is just not good. So these are reasons why I don't like Godfather 3. I didn't write this down. I just went off the top of my head because I've seen this movie 3 times. I'm thinking, like, I know what I don't like about this film. I don't need to write shit down. I know what the fuck I need to say. And this movie is god awful. I give this movie an F plus. It is. This movie should have never been made. It should have never been made. It was no reason for it to be made, in my opinion, because Godfather 2 just left it off on a great ending, and 3 just fucked up 2. 3 just fucked up Godfather 2. Like, not because Godfather 2 is still a great movie, but 3 messed up a great ending that Godfather 2 had, is what I'm trying to say, because you open up 3 with Michael Leone being more happy, and he's more expressive. He's not cold and calculating. He's not distant. Like, he was more of a bad boy in the first two, and here he's more happy-go-lucky and smiley and everything. But it's like, where did when did that change? When? I don't understand. It's like he's telling us his redemption arc has happened, but at the same time it hasn't happened, which doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, okay, I don't understand. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know. How are you, if he's more expressive, that's telling me that yes, he is a changed man, but you're telling me he isn't a changed man? I just don't get it. Like, what apology does he owe Kay? I'm sorry. This rant about to get be over with. But what apology does he owe Kay? Like, what apology does he owe her? I want someone to please tell me, because what apology does he owe her? She aborted their child. If you watch the scene they had, which is one of my favorite scene in Godfather 2, she said that she aborted their child because of who he has become, which I understand. He's more cold and distant and everything like that. But she really tried to flip the script on him by making it seem like he was a problem, when it's like, you aborted their child because you were too scared to ask for a divorce. We do that now. We abort children because we're too scared to ask for divorce. Oh, okay. What? Since we started doing that? She said the reason another reason why she aborted the kid was because she's not Italian, and I just feel like that is just a real selfish and cold-hearted thing to do because you're not Italian and you there's no reason to have the kid, there's no reason to be married because you're not Italian. Well, okay, what the fuck were you doing with him in the beginning, Dan? If you knew you weren't Italian, girl, you're white, and so what? Like, she gets on my fucking nerves. I cannot stand Kay. I can't stand her. Oh my god. I honestly love that he had regrets over killing Fredo because it's like, could not have been handled differently, yes, but at the end of the day, I don't. Watching the film, I absolutely understood why he killed Fredo. Fredo kind of had to go. Fredo really had to go. I'm sorry. I know I'm against murdering, I'm against killing, but in this situation, I honestly understood why he had to kill Fredo. He couldn't let Fredo get away with what Fredo got away with. Fredo knew what he was doing. That's a rant for another time. Maybe I'll talk about that. Maybe I'll make a video on why I think killing Fredo was the best decision in Godfather 2. I'll talk about that. Well, other than that, Godfather 3 is an awesome film. I don't recommend it to anybody. I don't recommend it to anybody who likes Godfather movies, and I don't recommend it to anybody who wants to watch a good Al Pacino film. This movie is god awful, and that's all I have to say.